Well salty. Sweaty tits.
Oh, the carp dog snacking.
Rakitic seeking out Rebic again. Maybe Pickford was caught late. Yeah, free kick's been given. Pickford punched it and then Rebic crashed into him.
Great keeper.
World class.
Great keeper, yeah.
World class.
Best I've ever seen.
Rebic from out to in inside Ashley Young, but again Pickford starting position, really aggressive.
Quick update. It's now Thursday morning. Unfortunately, nothing on the fish front for me, but Julian's had a few. He had a 32 mirror during the night and then a whopping 38-pound grassy. The grassy was going so crazy I didn't really have time to film it really. They beat you up on the bank. I mean, I was helping him unhook it and all that, and it hit into me when I had the waders on. It just felt like a proper Muay Thai kick to the fucking shin bone to the chest. It was absolutely beasting. So yeah, real powerful, really impressive fish to be honest. Before, you know, they're really not my thing, but after seeing a couple of lumps out of it, I wouldn't mind catching a big one. Just one, you know, trophy shot and all that. They do lakes I've fished in the past. They don't really take anglers baits, but this particular lake they do. So yeah, I haven't had a fish for a couple of days now, so it's gone a bit quiet really. I was sort of fishing an area here. It's one of the most unfavoured areas on the lake actually. Everyone normally here, because of the boats and everything, I mean we've brought our own boat motor, but because of the boats, people normally row out right 200 yards to the island or whatever. But I saw a fish bosh when I first came here, put a load in it, nice and firm, started introducing the bait and picking up some fish close in, 15 wraps out. Very similar to the English style fishing. I have been putting bait out with boat, and I've been putting some rods out with boats along, but they haven't really been doing much, to be honest. So stick with what you know, and it will come true. Unfortunately, England didn't win last night. They did well. Semi-final, first time with Southgate, youngest team. I mean, it does help that I'm a Spurs fan and half the squad are Spurs, and that's probably the reason why they're doing really well. But that's a different story. What else has gone on? I think the lads have picked up a couple more. The whole complex is fished really, really slow. We've caught more fish than anyone else, and it's been a heat wave here, similar back to the UK, and for the last sort of month it hasn't fished very well at all. This lake can do quite a lot of bites. So I'm on 5 now. Like I say, I was getting them sort of regularly, and then it's been tough for a few days, and now Julian started to pick up some. So we've all caught now. We've all caught fish to 30s, which is what, like I said, there's a lot bigger fish in here. There's lots of 40s and 50s and even fish to 60. So you know, it could throw up a lump. But either way, like I say, my target was to get a nice 40. I tend to target a 40s when I'm in France. You know, it's still a huge fish. Nothing, you know, obviously you've got places where they are much bigger, but to me that is a gigantic fish. And the reason why we came to this lake is because they're real nice dark fish, very rare for France, like jet black estate lake fish or gravel pit fish. Look absolutely stunning. We're going off in a sec into Vitry because we've got to book Hugo into the vets. It's Luke's little, you would have seen him, the carp dog as I call him, but we've named him the Bat Pig because he's a little fat bat pig, his little French bulldog. And he's going to have it checked and get his worm tablets. Oh, bleep on the rod, boys. Is that you, Julian? Oh, it's just Julian tightening her out of his rods and his bait boats. But yeah, so we're going to do that, and then I'll get the rods back out, keep the bait going in, stay positive. The weather's changed. It was really hot when we started, and we had a lot of fish out in front of us. and a lot in this bay. Well, I've had a few now out of here, and yeah, so keep on keeping on, as they say, and I'll keep you updated.
What an epic battle.
That's a nice shot on the knee. Right, a few more, and then I'll spin around.
I've got some nice shots.
It's a fucking breeze block.
Get one more.
Is it straight, yeah?
Yeah.
Right, that's it.
Lovely, mate.
Get it back in the water, and then I'll do some water shot.
Yeah, well,
This way.
it's going home.
I just want to talk about hook baits. What you see on this bucket here is the hook baits that I've brought to France with me. Now, it's very easy this day and age to get caught up in the rat race of various different hook baits of all the different companies, different flavours, different colours. It's very easy to overbring hook baits, and it just, all it does is confuse yourself. You never know what to put on the end because they all look good and they all smell good, and on the day all of them will catch fish. So what I tend to do is have a few different colours and a more of a neutral one. So I'll start off with that. I guess this one here is an S-Core 2 pop-up. It's an airball one, and this is what you would say is match the hatch. Now I tend to use these sort of coming into summer, autumn months when they've been absolutely hammered on bright ones all spring and winter. That can be a really good edge. I also sometimes just cut the top off and tip it with a bit of plastic, just like you would your bottom bait, and that's done really well for me in the past as well. So that's that one. This is the S-Core 2, which is a fish meal boilie, and it's a nice dark brown. I've also got these ones here, which is obviously white in itself is a great colour, particularly in clear waters as well, and in spring I've done really well on it. But what I use those for is obviously it's a neutral colour that that they're the pop-ups that are in here, and I use them to sort of glug up boilies with various different flavours and colours to make my bright pop-ups. Now I tend to have pink. It looks a bit orangey here because the lighting of the bivvy's a bit weird, but that is a very bright pink, and it's a fishy flavour. This one is a very sweet yellow. These ones have been glugging for obviously longer than these ones. It soaks them in, but they do soak in the flavour pretty well and still keep their buoyancy. Now those are the three colours I tend to stick to: white, yellow and pink. Each one of them can work on the day, and it can be various different colours that work on various different days and various different trips, so it's worth having a play. But if you just stick to three colours that you really trust, you're not going to drive yourself crazy. Oh, shall I put a washed out pink on one? Shall I put a bright pink? Shall I put an orange one on? Shall I put this, that and the other? It's very easy to get caught in that trap, and believe me, there's nothing worse than sort of 4 days into a session, you've tried 8 different hook baits, you don't know what's working, whether it's the rig or the hook bait or anything. Stick to what you know. Don't take too many options, and so you're almost forced to use what you trust, and believe me, you'll get bites. So there's a little bit of insight on hook baits and what I've been using. Get some nice pop-ups on the go, get some flavours and colours and have a play, but don't overplay and get too many colours because you'll confuse yourself just as much as the fish. Tight lines. chill. Fucking hell.
We've got that on film, I tell you.
Yeah, it slapped the shit out of me. Right, I'm just going to talk you through the rig I've used on this session to great effect. I've been using the Ronnie rig. I chose this rig in particular due to the weedy nature of the lake. It's a very, very, very weedy lake. There is some nice firm clear spots in between, but there's lots of weed going right up to the surface, and this will sit on top of any sort of shorter bottom weed, but also it allows me to present a pop-up nice down to the deck. This is only a 14mm pop-up, so it's small bait really. A lot of the lads on here, I noticed the boilies that the complex do, and a lot of the lads use 20mm. I've been using slightly smaller baits to match with sort of my particle and pellet, and it seems to be working well. Nice size 4 curve shank hook, nails them on the bottom lip every time. Really, really good rig, and it's hasn't let me down. So there's the rig. Right, I just want to talk to you about the bait mix, the all-important bait mix I've been putting out here this week. It's been doing me proud, getting me a few fish. The idea behind it, a few different ingredients to achieve a few different purposes. So starting off with the particle, this is provided here by the guys, really freshly made for you to order. So I've got maize here and hemp, really good stuff, couldn't praise it enough. So I'll start off with a good helping of maize, real nice and gloopy. The fish see a lot of this stuff, so it'd be rude not to put it in. And then also you can fish them with a couple of grains of plastic, or maybe a boilie tipped with plastic. Next is the hemp. Again, they see a lot of it, and it keeps them grubbing around. That a good mix. Particle done. So then I add my boilie content, and I've gone with 3 different type of boilies. Basically, what I've noticed at these sort of French venues is most people just pick one bait, and obviously, and then by the end of the week the fish have wised up to it. But I've got 3 different baits, just keep them constantly guessing, don't know which they're getting caught on. So I've got the Escort 2, which is a dark sort of fish meal boilie, and it's got the amino pits in it. This is my favourite one, so good helping of those go in. Then the Escort 2, which is a sweeter bait. And then finally the classic KG1, which is like a fishy, fruity, it's a very fruity boilie. And they're all slightly different colours, different flavours. Oh, I think my rod might be going off. Yep. I'm in.
And in true Billy style, as he's doing a bit of a talk to camera, he gets a run. Morning, how are you? Good, good.
Oh, is he swimming there? Slow?
No, it's speeded up a little bit today. So
Yeah. Oh, so maybe it could be some good
Big
surprise.
Friday, hopefully. Could be,
It will be nice. I've not seen any fish for 2 weeks.
Lock off a prison cell.
yeah.
And let her
Yeah.
You're joking.
I should have gone out in the boat, man. It's just, yeah.
Oh no!
You
Oh
just locked
shit!
it here.
That's me, pressure.
Okay, never mind.
Hook pull.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come.
Right, back to it. Unfortunately, as you see, that fish is hook pull. I've had 8 bites now, and 6 landed. Both of them, the hook pulls was in the weed, and just as I was about to get out on the boat, it just pulled. It's lots and lots of weed, but it's just one of them things, I guess. I was on a clean sheet for most of the trip until, yeah, now I've had 2 losses. Pretty gutted. I think the lads over the other side have had a few losses as well. But where was I? So, boilie in, 3 different types of boilies. Keep them guessing. There we go. That's what the mix is like so far. Very simple. And now this is the point I put the liquids in. So I start off with just the original S-Core serum. This slight sweet smell, but to be honest, it doesn't have much of a smell. It's a very complex amino that triggers feeding. I absolutely love it. So I've put a good helping of this stuff in it. I really think this is a really good attractor and keeps them on the spot for longer. Triggers feeding. And then same stuff, but the fish version. Again, very subtle, got a slight fish smell. Gives it plenty of attraction. That soaks into all the bits and bobs. Keeps them grubbing around. And then finally, Ultraplex, which is a very sweet, and I think this is just a bit of sweetener just to sweeten everything off. Gives it a lovely sweet creamy flavour. That's the liquids in there. And then finally, pellet. It's a really oily fish meal pellet. So they love it here. So, good few scoops of that. And that is the finished article. There we go. There's your finished mix. Plenty of them to grub around. So you've got your hemp, attracting the smaller fish as well, the maize, 3 different types of boilies, your pellet, and then your 3 liquids. It's fairly simple, but all you need to get them French carp grubbing, hopefully keep them coming and keep them on the spot. I've got through quite a bit of bait now, but that's the one. Get on it. Chef of the hour.
The last breakfast.
This is what you call bankside luxury. Look at that. Julian's Burgers.
It's a bit more than burgers.
I just had this one. £32, 10 ounce on the Ronnie. This one was a white S-Core pop-up. The last 4 or 5 bites have been now. Moved over to the white ones and seem to be doing the trick. I'm shaking. Right, welcome back. It's now the final night after pretty much an all-day pack down. I'm getting stuff down slowly. I have had 5 takes today, so I've landed 3. I'm on 9 fish now, with 3 lost, so not too bad. I was on a 5 clean streak, and then I lost one, and then had a couple. Then yeah, dropped a few today, unfortunately, due to the weed. Oh, It's kicking right off. Anyway, I think that's koi pew going through my lines. It's been an absolutely lovely week. We've done so far 25 bites between us. Like I said, I've had 9. And amongst the other lads who've made up 25 fish. 2 40s that I've had. We've had a couple of 38s and quite a stack of mid-30s and that sort of thing. A couple of scamps, but mostly sort of in the 30 bracket. Some of the most beautiful carp I've ever caught outside of the UK. In France they don't tend to be as nice as this, but they're really sort of dark colours there. You can see some of them are jet black, and it's a very clear weedy lake, very challenging lake to fish actually if your rod's high, almost rainbow style. Well, that rod is just not happy. Bleep on the middle. And yeah, that's it really. I guess hopefully, like I said, I'll give them some good. Like last night, I gave them a good old bait up, and I've done the same tonight. They've had 2 buckets of the mix, spread over sort of 4 rods. So hopefully, I'll be in for a night. I haven't had any fish during the hours of the night. It's all been early morning or day bites. Julian has, so hopefully he can pick up a few fish tonight, and I can have some in the morning, and we'll go home with a few more. My goal was to get 10 bites and a 40, and I've had 2 40s and 9 bites, 9 fish landed, and 12 bites. So hopefully I can get that final 10 fish. I also wanted a grassy, which I've got, and not quite as big. So the other lads, Julian's had a 38, and I think there was a 42 caught over there as well, grassy. So they absolutely beast you. The fights are amazing. As nuisance fish goes, they're not bad, you know. Not compared to your bream or your tench really. So yeah, final night. What I'm going to do, I've packed down all the bivvy and everything, because I brought a bivvy for this trip. I brought a JRC cocoon bivvy. I had big mesh panels at the back, and I've got to say, of all the bivvies I've had, I haven't fished with a bivvy for quite a few years. I've been on the brollies, never used a JRC bivvy, and it's absolutely quality. I got a good deal because Tackle Fanatics were closing down, so I brought it on discount. But yeah, hand on heart, best bivvy I've ever used, and it wasn't that, you know, it wasn't crazy, it didn't break the bank. So it's a similar sort of style to my old tracker bivvy, but the quality was just so much better. And yeah, having those vents through in like 35+ degree weather or 30 degree weather is just a godsend. You can really get that air going through it, and it helps cool down and the bivvy and keep you cool. So right, like I say, I'll keep you updated. Hopefully we can trip up one of the 50s or 60s on the last night. If not, a backup 40 will do just fine. And I'll talk to you in the morning. A bit of koi in the tail almost. This one is behaving. It did beast me in the boat though. Oh. Right, spin it round. How are they looking? Try and do some tasty water shots somewhere. This is bulbous side. £49 on the nose. Biggest of the trip. Almost on that magical 50 mark, not quite there. It's an absolute beast. £49 on the nose on the last morning. Almost hit that magical 50, but this will do. Prize, the grand prize of my trip. Oh, get her in the water. Right, one last look at her. £49 on the nose. Absolute beast. Oh. There we go, we'll get her back. She's ready to go. Yes! Oh, final morning does it again. Oh. Well guys, it's the last morning. It's about an hour. Everything is pretty much packed up. It's about an hour to go before we got to reel in, maybe even half an hour. The rod that did the 49 about an hour ago is already in. Everything's packed up. Just basically reeling in last knockings. Got to be off here at 10. Then off to Calais to get the crossing. Be back home. I think our crossing's at 4, so we've got some time, but it's about 4 or 5 hours from here. So we've got enough time. Hopefully we can stop and get some food somewhere because I'm absolutely starving. And yeah, thank you for watching. It's been a holiday full of ups and downs. With England beating Sweden. And then getting beaten. I've had, what have I had now? 15 bites, 12 landed. Grass carp. You name it, there's been highs, there's been lows. But one thing I can say is I've absolutely loved every single minute of it. It's been really nice fishing with these lads. The first time I've been to France without sort of my family, my dad, my uncle, my cousins, my best mates. Gone with some lads from a syndicate, and it's been an absolute buzz. Julian, who I've doubled up with, he's looked after me proper, cooking for me, getting all the bits. He's supplied all the gear, the old utility tents, the generators, the fridges, you name it. Julian's got it. The projector for the football, HD projector. It's been absolutely not what I'm used to, but absolutely a right buzz. I can see why, you know, there's an appeal to sort of bringing everything apart from the kitchen sink with you. And now I've seen it in full. It didn't take us that long to put it back down anyway, so if you're here for a week it might be worth it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and hope I'll see you in the bank sometime.